Yeah, they are the proud Americans, tested, tried, and true. They're red, white, and blue. They're red, white, and blue. Like me and you.
Hi, I'd like to take a moment and thank our Minnesota veterans and their families on this Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your fidelity and your honor, and thank you for my freedoms. We appreciate you, and it's important that we recognize the resilience of our Minnesota families and our Minnesota veterans, past and present. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day.
Hello, I'm Bill Hudson, your MC for the official State of Minnesota 2021 Virtual Veterans Day program, brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs. And thank you to Rocky Lynn for being part of today's program and showing your support to our Minnesota veterans. This year, we are celebrating all veterans, past and present, with an emphasis on resilience. Veterans Day has a special meaning for me because over the course of my career, I've had the honor of sharing stories of service and sacrifice with the world. So I look forward to serving as your host as we bring you stories that highlight and celebrate veterans all around the state. I'm joining you today from the Minnesota National Guard's Army Aviation Support Facility here at Holman Field. Behind me sits a fleet of Black Hawk helicopters. The aviators' crew, mechanics, and support staff who surround them have seen the entire spectrum of the veteran experience over the last 20 years. This aircraft hangar is a fitting backdrop for this year's program, which is designed to honor and celebrate all who have worn the uniform. And this year, more than ever, our military members and actively serving veterans have bravely answered the call of duty, both at home and overseas. Wherever you are today, I ask you to pause and join me by rising, if you are able to, for the singing of our national anthem, brought to you by Master Sergeant Jessica Llewellyn of the 133rd Airlift Wing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The sponsor of today's program is the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, and it is now my honor to introduce you to Commissioner Larry Herke. Commissioner Herke, a veteran himself, represents the state's more than 300,000 veterans. Retired Colonel Larry Herke was appointed as the 18th Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs in January 2019. Commissioner Herke served for more than 30 years as a member of the United States Army and Minnesota National Guard. After retiring from the National Guard in 2016, he led the Office of Enterprise Sustainability for the state of Minnesota before taking on the role of Commissioner for MDVA.
Resilience. While serving our country, especially in a combat role, our veterans have learned to be resilient. Veterans have developed the ability to adapt and overcome adversity. Over the past year, our veterans and their families, along with all Minnesotans, have faced a battle on the home front, fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. And again, we have demonstrated resilience. The definition of resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, a toughness. It is also known as the process of adapting to face adversity, trauma, tragedy, or stress. Our veterans and their families here in Minnesota certainly embody these definitions. Although it's been a challenging year, it has also been a year of overcoming, adopting, rising up, and remembering. This year, we commemorated the 20th anniversary of the attacks of 9/11. The 9/11 and Global War on Terrorism Remembrance Task Force staff and partners worked to organize a somber and powerful event at the state capitol in September that remembered those service members who gave their lives in service to their country. Here in Minnesota, we remember Veterans Day as a celebration of veterans, both past and present. However, Veterans Day is also an important reminder that we must keep the promises made to those who have worn the uniform. In fact, Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, or MDVA, exists because of these promises. We are here to serve those who have served. Our incredible staff help connect Minnesota's 304,000 veterans with their state and federal benefits and care that they have earned. Those promises include things like educational benefits, ending veterans' homelessness, helping veterans navigate the federal claims process, and serving traditionally underserved groups like women and Native American veterans. Looking ahead, our priorities over the next year include continuing to work toward becoming the 4th state to end veterans' homelessness. This year, we also launched a plan to reduce and eventually end veteran suicide. As we reflect on the promises made by a grateful nation, one of those promises falls into the special category of funeral honors. Often, this is the only benefit a service member claims. In the state of Minnesota, there is one federal veterans cemetery at Fort Snelling. The National Cemetery Administration in Washington, D.C. made a commitment to provide all veterans with a burial at the Veterans Cemetery within 75 miles of their home. For this reason, MDVA also operates 3 veteran cemeteries in Little Falls, Preston, and Duluth. A 4th state veteran cemetery has just started construction in Redwood Falls, with an estimated completion in the spring of 2023. Last, but certainly not least, our promise to care for veterans extends to health care. We currently operate 5 award-winning veterans homes around the state of Minnesota to ensure our nation's heroes and their spouses can live in a caring community that enriches their lives. We want veterans homes to be a place where life is truly worth living, with the activities and interactions that residents find meaningful and enjoyable. Residents have access to outdoors, to plants, to animals, and numerous opportunities for interaction with the community. This year, we also broke ground on 3 new state veterans homes under construction in Bemidji, Montevideo, and Preston. I encourage those veterans who haven't yet come forward to contact us to learn how we can support you. If you've ever served in the military, your county veteran service officer or CVSO can help you connect with the benefits that you've earned. This Veterans Day, I'm honored to have served with you, thankful for those who came before me, and hopeful for those who will serve in the future. The United States would not be the home of the free without the brave veterans who have served our nation.
I also have the privilege of introducing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who has a special message for his fellow veterans and to all Minnesotans this Veterans Day. Governor Walz served for 24 years in the Army National Guard and retired as a Command Sergeant Major from the 1 of the 125 Artillery Battalion in 2005, leading troops that defended U.S. military bases worldwide.
Hello, Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz here. To the more than 300,000 Minnesota veterans and over 13,000 National Guard soldiers and airmen serving and living in communities across this state, I salute and thank you on this Veterans Day. Minnesota veterans have served our country since the Civil War, being the first state to step up to serve in the Union Army. This tradition has continued through both World Wars, Korea, Vietnam, and other conflicts in between, and leading up to September 11, 2001. Because when the call to duty is put out, Minnesotans respond. Currently, our state has more than 40,000 veterans who have served during the past 20 years since September 11th. And more than 100 Minnesotans have paid the ultimate sacrifice since that fateful day, a somber reminder of the cost of war. While many members of the military have been fortunate to serve during peacetime, the September 11th attacks jolted our nation to our core and exposed some vulnerabilities. And like many generations before them, young Americans, including thousands of Minnesotans, were moved to serve their country with the goal of preventing another similar attack from ever happening again. As a veteran myself, I'm grateful to my fellow veterans for heeding the call to service. We're stronger as a state and as a nation because of the commitment of those who serve. I invite all Minnesotans to take a little time today to recognize and thank the veterans in their lives and in their communities. We value and appreciate your service. Happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Hi, Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan here. Today on Veterans Day, we pause to honor and recognize those who raised their right hand to protect and defend our country. Roughly 6% of Minnesotans are veterans. That represents the diversity of Minnesota, including our women, Black, Native, Asian Americans, Latinx, and so many communities across our state. Our veterans have important stories, and they should be heard. Whether they are the few veterans from World War II, those who served during the Korean or Vietnam Wars, or the more than 40,000 who have served since September 11th, 2001, our veterans have seen and experienced situations that few of us ever will. Asking about their story is a sign of respect and demonstrates our admiration for them. And while challenging, many veterans reflect on their time in service as one of the most rewarding periods of their lives. The bonds they share with other soldiers are indescribable. So I encourage you to take the time to honor our veterans by learning their stories, listening to their memories, and expressing appreciation. Minnesota veterans, Chi Miigwech, we thank you so much for your service.
For over a decade, the official State of Minnesota Veterans Day program has grown in size and celebration. The Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs would like to recognize and thank Minnesota's veteran service organizations for their continued partnership with this annual event. Ron Haugen is head of the Disabled American Veterans Department of Minnesota. He recently assumed duties as chair of the Minnesota Commanders Task Force.
My name is Ron Haugen. I am the commander for the DAV Department of Minnesota. Along with being the commander, I am also the chairman for the CTF, which is the Commander's Task Force. The Commander's Task Force is made up of 8 congressionally chartered veteran service organizations. The Commander's Task Force primary purpose is to be an advocate for the 300,000 plus veterans in Minnesota. Veterans Day is the opportunity for us as veterans to honor ourselves, to honor our cohorts, to reflect and remember. It also gives the community a chance to take a moment and pay recognition to all the veterans who have given so much. I'd like to thank all of the veterans, all the men and women who have put on the uniform and have served our country in the past, and to the young ones who are going to join our military. I thank you all.
Thank you, Ron. Well, as you just heard, the Commander's Task Force represents veterans from all branches of service. Our next program element is a tradition that also honors all branches of the military, the Armed Forces Medley, also known as the Armed Forces Salute, is recognized as a collection of the official march songs of the 6 services of the United States Armed Forces. Thank you to the 34th Infantry Division Red Bull Band. Officially organized on April 13, 1900, the 34th Red Bull Band has proudly served the state and nation for over 114 years. We're honored to have their participation in this year's virtual program. I'd like to introduce you to a currently serving member of the Minnesota Air National Guard, Jordan Hopwood.
My name is Senior Airman Jordan Hopwood. What Veterans Day means to me is honoring those who are currently serving, along with honoring those who served before us, but especially honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of service. I chose to serve in the United States military to carry on a family legacy. From my mother, who was a St. Paul police officer, to my father, who was in the Army, my older brother, who is also in the Army currently serving, and my grandfathers, who both have served their time in the United States military. I joined to make them proud and carry on that legacy of military service throughout our family.
Minnesota is fortunate to have strong support from state and federal lawmakers. Next is a video address from U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Every year on this day, the 11th day of the 11th month, we pay special tribute to our veterans, the men and women who served in every war since our nation was founded. This Veterans Day is a little different for me, since it's the first one since we lost my dad. My dad was marked by his ability to write in his daily column about ordinary people doing, in his words, extraordinary things. I can't think of better words than his to describe those who have fought and continue to fight for our freedom, for our safety, for America. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. To all our veterans and service members, as well as our veterans' families who sacrifice so much, there's no limit to the respect you've earned and no time when we won't be in your debt. We honor you on Veterans Day and every day. Thank you for your faith and your devotion to our nation.
Our next greeting is from U.S. Senator Tina Smith.
Hi, I'm U.S. Senator Tina Smith, and I am grateful to join you today on Veterans Day to remember the service and sacrifice of the hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans who've served in our nation's military with great honor and courage. I think about my father, Harlan, who served in the Korean War, and my father-in-law, Mark, who served in World War II. And I think about the sacrifices they made as young men. And I think about all of the young people serving today who will someday be veterans too. I also think about how the sacrifices of our veterans are not borne only by them, but also by their families. Their spouses, children, friends, and parents all share in their experience. So thanks to all of you for your service and for your sacrifice. In the Senate, I'm committed to helping Minnesota's veterans and their families get the benefits and care that you've earned. From improving mental health care to ensuring access to earned benefits, I am here to fight for you. So I wish you a peaceful Veterans Day, and please know that you can contact my office for any kind of assistance.
We are also grateful to have remarks from Congresswoman Betty McCollum.
It's a privilege to join you as we honor America's veterans for their courage and sacrifice to defend our democracy. The January 6th attack on our nation's capital showed how vulnerable democracy can be. Together, we have a duty to protect our nation at home and abroad. Men and women who serve in uniform answer an even higher call, and we're grateful. Congress has a duty to our veterans to get the care that they earned to them. As a daughter of a disabled veteran, I will advocate that the VA is fully funded and to protect the VA from privatization. Thank you.
Next, our video remarks from Congressman Tom Emmer.
Hi, I'm Congressman Tom Emmer. I represent Minnesota's 6th Congressional District in Congress. Thank you for taking the time to hear from me. I also want to thank the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs for organizing this video and for the work the department does every day to ensure Minnesota's veterans get the care they deserve. To the thousands of men and women who freely took an oath without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion to defend our great nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic, we simply can't say thank you enough for dedicating your lives to the safety and security of this great country. We are the land of the free, because of the brave. Thank you, and God bless all of you and your families.
We are also pleased to share video remarks from Congresswoman Michelle Fischbach.
Happy Veterans Day to all of you who have bravely served. The United States of America is grateful for the sacrifices you and your families have made for your nation. You are the true patriots and heroes that make this country the greatest in the world. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of the U.S. House of Representatives, thank you for your service.
And now, here are remarks from Congressman Dean Phillips.
Hi, everybody. I'm Congressman Dean Phillips. As a Gold Star son who lost his birth father in the Vietnam War, I understand firsthand the sacrifices our service members and their families make so that we may all continue to be blessed and live in the oldest and most successful continuous democracy in the entire world. As I often say, we're a nation that always finds the resources to go to war. That fact was brought home once again as we just wound down our 20-plus year and $2.3 trillion engagement in Afghanistan. Now we must ensure that as a nation, we find the resources necessary to take care of those who served. In a time where we seem to be divided on nearly everything, I hope that this commitment is a unifying one. Whether you were a Marine, a soldier, a sailor, an airman, or a coastie, whether you were on active duty or reserve, whether you served in peacetime or during war, I join everyone in extending my heartfelt and deepest gratitude to you and those that served alongside you. Today and every day, we honor you, we support you, and we salute you. May God bless you and your families, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Veterans Day is a time of celebration and reflection, but it means something different to everyone. I'd like to introduce you to another MDVA employee and Army veteran, Kimberly Johnson.
When I was younger, I was able to look, listen, and learn from my grandfather, uncles, and cousins that served in the military. So when the time came to decide how to pay for my education and still serve my community, at 17, I volunteered to join the Minnesota Army National Guard. And in August of 2020, I recently retired with 20 years of service. Veterans Day means to me that I at least have one day out of the year that someone can say, I see you, I honor you, and I respect the fact that you served our country.
Next are remarks from Congressman Jim Hagedorn.
I'm Congressman Jim Hagedorn of Minnesota's 1st District, and it sure is great to be part of this year's official State of Minnesota virtual Veterans Day event. On Veterans Day, we honor our military heroes, both past and present, who have defended our country and our way of life. Our citizens live in freedom, and that's because of our servicemen and servicewomen. And you can always count on me to be there to support and advocate for our veterans both in Minnesota and across our country. America is the greatest country in the history of the world, and it's because of you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Also here to share words of support is Congresswoman Angie Craig.
Hi there, it's Representative Angie Craig from the 2nd Congressional District. Happy Veterans Day to everyone who's put on the uniform and served our nation both here and abroad. And I want to say a special thank you to those families who have supported you. We owe a debt of gratitude to both you and your families. Again, happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service to our nation.
To help close out today's program, it's my honor to introduce our next virtual speaker, who is also the top-ranking military officer in the state, Major General Sean Mankey. General Mankey serves as the Adjutant General for the state of Minnesota. In fact, he previously served and deployed as the commander of this very Army aviation unit. In addition to leading the Minnesota National Guard, General Mankey oversees the Minnesota Department of Military Affairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day. I'm honored to be here, and I would like to thank the Governor and the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs for inviting me to participate. Thank you for gathering virtually to recognize and remember the veterans of our nation. Veterans Day is the day to recognize all people who have served. Wearing the uniform signifies an obligation to fight and win, anywhere, anytime, and veterans both past and present have fulfilled that obligation. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to those men and women committed to something greater than themselves. Men and women who have put their lives on hold to protect our national security. American citizens who answered the call during times of peace and war. Since I was appointed as the Minnesota National Guard's Adjutant General more than a year ago, I have witnessed the courage and commitment of our citizen soldiers and airmen. They have supported the magnitude of missions such as COVID-19 testing, vaccination sites, and long-term care facilities. They have supported local law enforcement during civil unrest, all while continuing preparations for training missions and deployments worldwide. Every time they have performed admirably, and they accomplished everything that was asked of them. This is common to all who have put on the uniform and have taken the oath to defend this nation against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Today and always, as a grateful nation, we recognize that our veterans are America's greatest strength and most valuable resource. The National Security Strategy states a powerful military match to the security environment is a decisive American advantage. We will ensure our armed forces are equipped to deter our adversaries, defend our people, interests, and allies, and defeat threats that emerge. In closing, thank you, veterans. You have paved the way for our nation to be the standard bearer for the rest of the world and provided the means to uphold American values. America is indebted to you, your sacrifice, and your service. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining our virtual Veterans Day event. Thank you for honoring our service members, both past and present.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this special program that honors, remembers, and celebrates Minnesota veterans. As we close, I urge you to join me today in celebrating this incredible country we live in, made possible by veterans of the United States Armed Forces. So Rocky, take it away.
It's so long.